you.
Yeah, you both outlined sort of the serious nature of the problems that we're receiving on our social media accounts. What do you think would make the social media companies toughen up their approach to misinformation and disinformation? The government is currently consulting on restricting or limiting social media use for under 16s. Do you think that would help counter disinformation and misinformation as well?
I think that, again, with the caveat of investigative reporter, not a campaigner, and all the usual stuff, I think that when it comes to protecting people on social media, I think that there's often this real gap that exists between the speed at which legislation can move and does move, and also sometimes the kind of wider the public understanding of new technologies, and then actually what's going on within the social media companies and sort of particularly kids and teenagers' experiences of the platforms. I think to some extent social media has become so integrated in all of our lives, adults or kids, it's quite hard to sort of put the genie back in the bottle in that sense. I think that what I hear time and time again from teenagers is that they just want to be able to use platforms and view the kind of, like most of the time they just want to talk to their friends, watch stuff that's funny. A lot of them are really, when I was doing the Rage Machine documentary, we went into a school where they're not allowed their phones during the school day, and quite a few of them said to me, I really hate seeing the kind of AI content, like I actually don't like it, it really turns me off, I don't want to see this kind of content. So I think that from my perspective, I think that the best thing would be for people to listen to the users of the social media sites, particularly kids and teenagers, about what they want to see or not want to see. You know, one of the solutions that's been proposed, and which quite a few experts talk about, is having separate platforms that exist that are, you know, have different rules for under 16s essentially. So you can still hang out with your friends and view content, but you are not inhabiting an adult space. And I think that's often the inherent problem, is that the algorithms push everybody the same kinds of stuff. And so a 16-year-old will see the same things as a 40-year-old, and we don't really do that in any other realm of life, but we seem to do that online. The other thing I just would say is that I think when it comes to accountability for the social media companies, also speaking to, and there are an increasing number of whistleblowers and insiders from the companies who are willing to sort of speak out in a way that they weren't even 2 or 3 years ago. I think listening to them in terms of solutions, features, work they've done that often has been effective. There were people who were laid off at X who introduced new features to, for example, encourage people to think before they post an angry reply, or to put on safety mode on their accounts. A lot of the data showed that was actually really quite effective. Those features then disappeared. But I think that anything that is receptive to actual sort of design changes that could make a difference. I think sometimes we focus too much on what the companies look like now, and then it all evolves and moves on, and everything feels sort of out of kilter.
Thank you.